Welcome back to another Millennial in-depth video. If you are new here, hit that subscription button below, turn on the notification bell so you get that every single time I upload a video. We are fighting the sun right now. I'm literally watching the sunset. So we're going to try to get this video done and still keep that natural glowy light going. Yes, I'm looking at myself in the mirror. So today we are going to be... this screen is on a mirror. We're going to be talking about the 10 careers that are perfect for people who are looking to shift from their current career, from their current role, which I, have a little bit of expertise in that area. So we're going to talk about why these careers are good fits and what these careers are and how much they're paying, because why else would I pivot into it if it's not paying well, right? So if you are new here, you may not know that I was a high school English teacher in New York City for 11 years. And then I pivoted into the tech industry, specifically in the marketing sector of the tech industry. And I worked for a fintech company as their brand manager for about 13 months. Then I experienced a layoff, and I have been a full-time entrepreneur ever since fall or like November 2022. So we're going to talk about basically what you have to do to pivot. I've made a previous video about pivoting careers and changing careers before. I will link it down below in the description box or wherever the YouTube gods put it. And then we'll also do a little updated video this year because it's no longer 2021 and careers change and salaries change and the workforce changes. So let's jump into it, shall we? So when it comes to the distinction of high paying roles, we're going to use essentially what the median or the average salary currently is, and anything that's paying a little more than that would be considered a high paying role. So that's just the first distinction we're going to make. Now, what makes these roles really good to pivot into? Why would I leave my current, whatever, let's say I'm a teacher, and go into this particular role? Let's dive into a couple of things that make these roles really great for you to look into if you're looking to change careers. First things first, all of the roles that I'm going to tell you about today are in demand, which means they're in a growth market or a growth sector that is not really facing too many layoffs or not really facing too many issues when it comes to the job market, or we've seen a really big growth in how many open roles have been available, especially when it comes to roles that are fairly new. When we talk about like project management, product management, data scientists, things like that, those are fairly new roles that haven't been around for 30, 40, 50 years, right? So that's one of the things. They're in a growth sector, they're in demand. These roles also do not require a specific degree or a new degree. So if you've already worked for a long amount of time, you already have built your first or second career, some people are on their third careers, and that's okay. You do not have to worry about running out to go and get a new degree in order to get any of these roles. The third thing that I really love about all of the jobs that I'm going to tell you about on this list is they really lean into transferable skills. Some will require a lot more hard skills than others. Like I said, whenever I talk about engineering, I don't got the hard skills to be an engineer, right? But a lot of these lean into some hard skills and definitely soft skills that are imperative when you're pivoting into any career. Another really important factor in these roles is that they're not only limited to people coming from a specific background. Like I said, you don't have to have a specific degree. I remember very, very clearly when I was applying for marketing roles, I was so nervous that I would have to have a degree in marketing, which just was not the case. Did I have to have a degree? Yes. Could it kind of be a degree from anywhere or anywhere that was kind of related? Also, yes. And the last major piece that I want to share before we dive into these roles is you do not have to go back to square one, right? You don't have to start off at entry level or start with a really, really low salary, because a lot of these, like I said, entry level are just higher paying in general. And you also have experiences. And that's really important whenever I talk to clients or to people online about pivoting into a new career or a new industry. They always feel like they have to start from square one, and that simply just is not true. You have experiences, you have skills that will transfer, and you are worth every dime beyond $3, right? You're worth more than $3, obviously, but you are worth those rates, those salaries, because you have the experience in a different industry. So just remember. Okay, so let's get into my new kind of favorite role, which is data scientist. So data scientist is not brand new, but like I mentioned, it's not a role that we can say that we had 50 years or 40 years ago in the job market. The average salary for a data scientist is going to be $97,000, but the salary range itself will range from $63,000 to $139,000 annually. A data scientist is obviously going to be involved in data and statistics and analytics and things like that. Other names for data scientists could be a data engineer, which sometimes doesn't necessarily fit the broader idea of what a data scientist might be. But when you are looking into roles, be sure, and specifically when we also get into like the social media and marketing, a lot of those roles will be called different things, but will still have the same experiences. So it's still worth going out, even though it's like, I'm going for social media manager and not social media coordinator. It's the same thing. And that's very similar when it comes to data scientists. At its core, in its essence, a data scientist is going to analyze data in order to answer specific questions and bring information and research to a company, to an industry, whatever it is, they are going to bring the information to us. Software engineer is role number 2. And software engineers are in high demand, especially with all of the evolution that comes with apps and AI in apps. Software engineers are never going to be unemployed. The average salary of a software engineer is $88,000, but the salary range is going to go from $64,000 to about $139,000. Of course, bigger companies like the FANG companies are going to be paying much more, but a software engineer is going to essentially be building apps and building all of these things that we tend to do, that we tend to use in our hardware, right? So our phone is the hardware, and the operating system and the applications and things we use on the phone is our software. And so software engineers are a part of building and maintaining all of those tools that we use on our hardware. Number 3 is going to be a financial planner. A financial planner is typically going to make about $65,000 annually, but their salary ranges from $42,000 to $102,000 respectively. Financial planners essentially help their clients plan for short-term, medium-term, and long-term financial goals. If you are a certified financial planner, a CFP, you will have to become certified by taking a very difficult exam from what I've heard. But you don't necessarily have to go to school to be a financial planner. You will have to study. I'm not telling you anyone could just jump up and be a financial planner. You will have to study and prepare for this exam, and people usually take months to study and prepare for this exam and go to courses like Kaplan and anything like that to also help them prepare. So in order to be a CFP, you do have to get a certification, but you don't necessarily have to go to school for finance or statistics or things like that. Number 4 on the list is going to be social media director. So this is a bit different from a social media coordinator or social media manager, but remember what I mentioned earlier, when we get into marketing and social media, the terminology gets a little grainy, but they're all doing basically similar things. Now, a social media director's average salary is about $69,000. We do have, and I really do mean we have to work on this, because director, what? Their salary range starts usually around $49,000 and goes up to about $133,000. So for a director, I feel like they should be getting paid more. But that's a conversation for a different video. So a social media director is going to basically be the head main point of contact, the director for a company or organization's social media profiles. That is going to be different from a content manager, and again, another video for another time, but social media is specifically for social media platforms. Of course, you can collaborate with a content director, or you can be a part of the content team because you are creating content for the company. However, you're focusing mostly on social media platforms, building a social media strategy, maintaining an editorial calendar. So all of those things that have to do with social media and making sure that you're building brand awareness and brand engagement and things like that. Number 5 on the list is going to be a marketing manager. So different than a social media director, social media coordinator, all those things, but in the same sector, right? It's under the marketing umbrella. Marketing manager is going to make an average salary of $67,000, but the range is going to be between $45,000 and $101,000. Now, a marketing manager doesn't necessarily only focus on social media, which I think is where a lot of people get confused, where it's like, oh, it's marketing, social media. That's not really the only aspect that goes into marketing for a company, for a brand, for a launch, or things like that. So marketing can be working on brand, it could be on paid ads, it could be organic, which is all social, it could also be blogs, which is a part of the content team. It could be a lot of things intertwined. But basically, overall, the marketing manager will be helping the organization reach more clients, build more leads, grow engagement and awareness in order to keep the company profitable. We're losing light. We're losing light. Number 6 is going to be an HR manager. A lot of this terminology has been shifted as of late with all the DEI efforts and things like that, or you might hear them called people manager or head people officer, all these different terminology, but basically it's HR. An HR manager is going to make typically $69,000 on average, with an average salary range of $49,000 to $96,000. And what they are a part of is recruiting, making sure that laws aren't being broken when it comes to human rights and things like that in the workplace. And they also help to manage employee issues. I've said it before, I'll say it again. HR is not really your team member. They're not usually on your side. They might say they are, but they're on the side of the company. They're always going to try to protect the company. So yes, of course, you can bring your complaints to them, but always keep an extra side eye on the HR team. And I'm not saying that I'm sure there are great HR teams and HR managers, but just note for yourself, HR is for the company. It's for the company. Next up, we have product manager, another fairly new role similar to data science, where we didn't have it a very, very, very long time ago, but now it's here and it's absolutely here to stay. The product manager's average salary is $100,000, but the salary range does start from $69,000 to $137 $137,000 respectively. A product manager is essentially going to be the head point of contact for creating a new product, suggesting new product creation, building that product, launching that product, keeping that product on a specific timeline. So they are the go-to person if you want updates on a specific product. So for example, and I always use this example, if a credit card company, will go with American Express, decides that they want to release a brand new credit card, the product manager would take care of all of the details on who is the specific audience for this product, when will the product launch, what will be the bonuses that come along with this new credit card, how long will we run this bonus, how will we partner with influencers and things like that. So they might They might participate with the content team, the marketing team. A really great cross-collaborative product manager is going to ensure that everyone in the company is kind of involved in uplifting this product to make sure that the launch is successful. And once that launch is done, they would move on into a new product, right? Similar to a project manager who would take a project from beginning to end. And once the project was done, they'd move on into a new project. There are times where a product manager does have to stay on with the product, especially if it's something like an ongoing app or a credit card. So that typically will be one of many products that they manage. And last on our list, we have user experience designer. You will often see this as UE, sometimes UX, most of the time UX if it's in the tech world. A UX designer is going to make sure that when we use a product, which means they'll usually work with a product manager, when we use the product that we are able to understand how to use it, it's easy to use, and if we have any issues, they can adjust it with the product manager to make sure that it is user friendly. A UX designer is going to typically make $77,000 annually. $77,000 annually. Their average salary ranges from $55,000 to $110,000 respectively. Girl, you can't speak. It's because we're running out of light. I think I gave you 10. If that wasn't 10, I definitely will be adding more on the socials and my free remote job board, which you can access both in the description box below. Hopefully I will keep up with the consistency, and I will see you in the next video, which hopefully will not be at the end of the year, right? All right. Peace. I'll see you in the next one.